Good morning, everyone. We're going to give just a second for everyone to come on in. But while we are waiting, let me just thank our replay viewers. Thank you so much for coming in and checking us out. And don't forget, whether you are live or on the replay, those hearts do work. Thank you so much for those hearts already this morning. So we are going to give just a second longer for everyone to come on in. I'd also like to give a shout out to my YouTube viewers. So thank you so much for joining us. Good morning, Kelly. So yes, if you are watching on YouTube and you would like to be a part of our live interaction, come on over to the Periscope app and follow me at Buffy Hood so you can join in on the conversation. So thank you so much for everyone being here. As you know, today is our Truth Be Told Thursday. So this is where you have an opportunity to ask me about some different things that maybe you are struggling with currently in your direct sales business. And just give me a shot at being able to share what it is that I do or why I do what I do, etc. So if you have a question for me, go ahead and put a 1 in the comment box just so that I know that there is a question, in fact, coming. So does anyone have a question for me first thing this morning? Go ahead and put a 1 in that comment box. And then once you put in your question, I highly recommend that you do a highlight and select all and copy before you send your question, just in case somebody else might be sending a question at the exact same time. I want to make sure that I get to everyone's questions as much as possible. Now, remember, we are only here for 30 minutes, so we will be done at 8:30 as I have other schedules that I got to maintain. So does anybody have any questions for me this morning? Again, put a 1 in the box if you do. Good morning, good morning. Looks like we still have a couple more people filtering in here. So let's see here. Anyone have anything? Tell you what, let's get this rolling here. So tell me what the number one thing is that you are currently struggling with in your business. That might be a way to kind of get the ball rolling here a little bit. Good morning, Myra. Nice to see you. Okay, and Miss Jenny does have a question coming. Good morning, good morning. Okay, so bookings are something that you're struggling with. Okay, bookings, time management. Good morning. Okay, all right, so it sounds like bookings so far are one of the biggest. Good morning. Oh, I will be patient, Jenny. Thank you for that. Okay, so here's what my question would be. Okay, to you ladies who are struggling with bookings, tell me if you have ever done the 40 no challenge combined with another contest. So as an example, let's see here. So back when we had the Get in the Game, okay, so the Get in the Game program, that was, my goal was to do at least 36, okay, to do 36 shows from January 1st through June 30th. So my 40 no's sounded kind of something like this, and the verbiage should be on Buffy's Toolbox Group. If not, I'll make sure that it gets there, okay? So the verbiage would sound something like, hey, Holly, it's Buffy. I was just checking in with you. I hope this isn't a bad time, and wait to see if it's a bad time, okay? If not, if she says, oh, no, you're fine. Okay, no problem. Hey, I don't want to keep you long. I only have a couple of minutes, but I just wanted to check in with you as I have 2 contests that I'm currently involved in. Would it be all right for me to just share? And maybe you can see if it's something that you might be able to help me with, or maybe you know somebody else who could. And in most cases, they'll go, well, yeah, sure, because you're not asking them to do anything at that point other than just listen, okay? So then once she says, yeah, go ahead, you can say, okay, well, the first is that I'm trying to get a lot more comfortable hearing the word no. So I am contacting people. Oh, my goodness. Okay, so you used the style quiz on the site, had non-people. Oh, okay, gotcha. All right, I'm coming back to that. Okay, so needless to say, you just share that you're currently in the process of trying to learn how to hear the word no when it comes to asking people to help you in your business. And so you say, okay, so here's, honestly, we don't do online sales through Premier Design. So unfortunately, that's not really an area that I could assist you. I'm sorry about that. But we are more face to face, person to person. So we don't really do a lot in terms of online sales. No, we do not. We do not have a retail store. No, we actually, through direct sales, we go directly to the consumer by being invited to their home or another location, etc. So that's what we do. So yeah. So anyway, so you would share that you are doing this 40 no challenge where your goal is to collect 40 no's. I deal in jewelry, is what Premier Designs is jewelry. It's high fashion jewelry. So anyway, so you share that, and then you say the other thing is that I am also in a contest to try and hold at least 36 home shows from this date to this date. So the question is, would you be interested in allowing me the opportunity to simply bring my jewelry over, invite a couple of girlfriends? Really, either way, if you say yes or no, either way, you're helping me. Because if you say yes, then you could potentially be one of my X number of shows in a certain amount of time. Or you could be one of my no's, and that would allow me to check mark you off on that. So what do you think? Do you think you could help me out? Okay. So something like that. Then the great thing about that is they are 100% okay to say yes or no. It doesn't matter. Okay. So it really takes the pressure off. And the funny thing is, people that I thought would have been flat out no's were like, well, yeah, sure. I can get a couple girls together and do this, so it totally takes the pressure off. Okay. So I absolutely recommend that you do that. Okay. So needless to say, to me, that is just very beneficial when you are able to combine the two. So as I said, I believe that verbiage is on the Buffy's Toolbox group. So I will double check and make sure that it's there. But if you just go there and go to the search bar and put in 40 no's and hit search, it should come up for you. Okay, now, Miss Jenny's question was, she did the style quiz and she's trying to figure out how to respond to these people. And let me tell you, that is something that I am still working through, okay, for the ones who did respond. Let me see. I'm not sure where I put my phone. Hang on. Let me see if I can show you. And I don't know, to be honest, I don't know if I'll be able to show you on this. But basically what I did was I did create 2 images so far that have a little bit of a response to it, if you will. Let me pull that up here for you quick. Okay. All right. So far, these are the ones that I did. All right. And I don't know how well you'll be able to see. Okay. So this one here, as an example, this is for someone who stated that she could live in t-shirt and jeans, and that if she could take some expert fashion advice, what would she want help with? And hers was mixing metals. So as an example for this particular one, I did the Twice as Nice. I did the Vintage Vibe, both of which mix the metals, okay? And then also the Stiletto and the Contempo earrings, which come in both silver and gold, okay? Nice to see you, Myra. Thanks for popping in, all right? So that was one that I did for her. And I used the images from off of the media gallery, okay? And then this one here, this was for someone who said that she likes rose gold and she wants to be able to, and I'm just giving you a couple of their answers, but because I can only remember a couple of them, and she wants to be able to go kind of from day to night, from work to weekend. So I did this one, which was the blush, the Copper Moon, the Rosebud. Okay. So what I did was I basically sent those pictures through my MailChimp app. Okay. And it just, said, thank you so much for participating in our style quiz. Below, you'll find some selections that we thought might interest you, but feel free to also check out our full line and then gave the link for the catalog. Okay. So even just doing things like that and mentioning in there how, you would love to be able to get together with them to assist them with their style in person by either having a style session of their own or doing a one-on-one or whatever. Okay, so you can put anything you want in that email, but the trick is showing them some pieces via a image, okay, that they can see some of the things that you would select, okay, based off of their answers. So I was originally hoping when I first saw that style quiz, I'm going, man, I really hope, no problem, Jenny. I really hope that they have some sort of responses for us, like something that's like, if they say this and this and this, send them this. If they say this and this and this, send them this. So that's, originally what I was hoping for. But they didn't provide those. So it was something where I kind of found myself scrambling at the last minute going, oh man, I gotta figure this out. No, sir. Sorry. I don't know if he was legit or not, but I don't need anybody coming in on my Scopes asking about health issues. Sorry. So anyway, so needless to say, that is what I have been doing. But at this point, to be very honest, I didn't make images for all the potential, like what I thought would kind of go with what. So I didn't do that yet. So I'm going, since I don't have all of them together, and really right now, all I have done is to respond back to the 2 people who did respond to that style quiz, then it's kind of like, oh, until I do that, I'm not really promoting the style quiz, if you will. So it was like, I got excited and I posted it initially and then went, oh my goodness, there's no responses already like set up for us. So, I don't know why I assumed there would be. I don't know, spoiled maybe. I don't know. So, anyway, so I am in the process of trying to fully develop my own. So yes. And once I do, they will be on the Buffy's Toolbox group, as are those 2 images that I've already done. They're already on there. So if you would like to use those for anybody, please feel free. And as I have additional ones, I will be happy to share them. All right. Do we have another question? If we have another question, go ahead and put a 1 in the comment box just so that I know there is a question coming. Because if we don't have any questions left, then I'm going to let you guys scooch. Yes, the tic-tac-toe sheet is still working well. I have, in fact, I actually have some invites that I need to prep because somebody did, in fact, send me their guest list. Oh, my word. Okay. And I'm telling you, it has been kind of crazy as far as the number of guest lists that I'm getting, the number of wish lists that I'm getting, and things like that. And they're actually using the Hostess packet. It is the craziest thing. And so, yes, I am super excited at what this seems to be doing. Now, that being said, those shows, the other shows that, because you might remember, I literally just started doing this past month, and I only had 2 shows after I first started using them so far. Now, I have one Friday night. She was one of my other first ones to receive the tic-tac-toe sheet, and she has been diligently working on that. And then I also have 4 shows next Saturday. So when those come around, it'll give me a little bit more of an idea of exactly how how that's working in terms of retail and guests and that kind of thing. So yeah, so I'll be curious to see what happens there. So yes. All right, and I do see that we have another one coming. Okay, so close up of the earrings. Okay, so it is just like that. Okay. So how do I mail my hostess packets? I just use the priority envelopes. So I create the packet, put it in a priority envelope, and send it on its way. It does cost a little bit, but it gets it to them in a very timely manner. Also, because of the weight, in most cases, it cannot go first class, so it kind of has to go priority. But yes. So, and of course, it also gives you the tracking and everything else, so you know exactly when they received it and all that kind of good stuff. So yeah, I use the priority envelope. So I just stock up on those um, from my post office. And actually, I don't know if y'all knew this, but I didn't. You can actually order all those supplies on uspostalservice.com and have it shipped directly to you for free. I'm so sorry. I missed that. I was trying to spit that out. Okay. So I saw something about style guides and saw something about October. I was trying so hard. I was trying so hard to read that quickly and I just couldn't get it. Here's the thing. I get reschedules. It's not as often that I get cancellations. Reschedules do happen. Thankfully, not a whole lot. And again, the funny thing is, since I started using these tic-tac-toe sheets, people they're not rescheduling. Like they're not canceling on me. They're not. So I'm really thinking that because of these tic-tac-toe sheets and because it's giving them something to work toward, they're doing it. Have you sent October package yet, even though holiday guides aren't out yet? Gotcha. Okay, so no, I have not sent out my October package yet, mainly because I think my first show in October is October 9th. So I was kind of trying to hold out, but here's the thing. The style guides or the catalogs, the holiday catalogs, brochures, whatever you want to call them, they won't be out until September 15th, which means that until I get them, it's probably going to be, let's say, September 22nd, 23rd ish. That's going to be too late for me to wait. So chances are what I would wind up doing is just sending them their hostess packet, like probably within the next week. Send them their hostess packet, and then I will just let them know that at their show, I will be able to show them the holiday collection. So yes, it is. It's a tricky time of year anytime that you're dealing with new catalogs. But the biggest thing is get them the catalogs that you have that are current, that they can still shop from, etc., as soon as possible. And then just tell them that, hey, guess what? And you ladies are going to want to come to the show because at the show, you're going to get to see the brand new holiday collection catalog. So that can be actually extra added incentive for them to come to the show because that's where they're going to get to see the holiday stuff. So yeah. And I feel like I don't know if I missed any questions or not. I don't know if I missed any. I know I missed one that I didn't answer, which was some gentleman asking, and gentlemen might be using that term loosely, asking if I like leather pants. I'm not quite sure what that had to do with anything. Gotta love it. Gotta love it. Gotta love it. Okay, anybody else have another question for me? I know. It's so strange sometimes. It really is. I'm still trying to figure out why that happens. Have a show on the 22nd this month, so hope to have our catalog by then. That would be awesome, but here's the thing. If you don't have it by then, if you have a tablet or a laptop that you could take with you that they would be able to see it, then yeah. Yeah, that's okay. That's okay. We're gonna I was going to watch until I found out you were married. Ooh, I'm glad I have. Boy, the trolls are out today, aren't they? My goodness, we haven't had this much trouble in a long time. So yeah, I gotta love it. Still have 6 more shows this month. That is awesome. That is awesome. Actually, is it bad? I don't remember what I don't remember what I have yet this month. Um, I know I have one Friday, and I have two, and David has two next Saturday. So I shouldn't have said I have four because I have two, David has two. And then I think we might have 2 more before the end of the month. Gotta love it. 'Tis the season, right? Yes, Tracy, I know you are doing awesome. You're doing awesome. I can't wait to like celebrate with you when you start hitting all these different awards and recognitions and all that kind of good stuff because I know it's coming. I know it's coming. So, all right. Do we have any more questions? Any more questions regarding direct sales? Is David going to do a video for the Men of Premier? That is a good question. Yes, David does do his own shows. He here's kind of what it looks like. So his shows basically look a lot like mine, with the exception of obviously he does not put the same girly thing on it that I do. He doesn't do the kind of girly foo-foo stuff. But he does try to. The funny thing is, he has even said himself, he originally like did my show like verbatim, okay? And he was getting like so many laughs because people were like cracking up at the verbiage that he was using. And so then he decided he was going to try to do something different. He was going to try to like do it more, I guess, more business like, more professional, whatever. So he did a couple of shows that way. And then he told me, he goes, my show is flat out boring. He's like, I did it your way initially and I was getting laughs, but mainly because it seemed weird coming from me to be saying those things. He's like, then I tried it my way and it was like boring. Like I felt like I was losing people and I wasn't getting bookings. He's like, so I don't know. I might just go back to your way and just allow them to laugh at me for saying silly things. But he also does take one of our teenage daughters with him because I want to make sure that he is protected. Okay, so basically, here's the thing. We never know who the people are that we're going to be going and meeting at these shows. The last thing that I want is for any hostess or guest to feel uncomfortable for there to be a man there without him having a female companion there to help him. But I also want to make sure that there's never a case where somebody can claim false witness on him, claiming that he did something that was inappropriate or anything else, because I know better. I know my hubby. So I know that he would never do that. But there are some people out there who might claim or might take things the wrong way, etc. So yes, so he takes one of my daughters or one of our daughters with him. That is awesome, girl. You keep rocking that. So yeah, so that way he's taken care of. He uses our daughter then to be able to do the jewelry combinations, to be able to show those different looks on her so that he doesn't have to come in close contact with any of the ladies there. So it is a very well thought out process of how we go about making sure that he's able to be there to serve them and that they're having fun, but also that everyone involved is protected. So, yes. So he does do his own. Now, funny that you should ask, though, if he's going to be doing a video for the Men of Premier. He is not doing a video. However, he is going to be training at a leadership training on the 12th. It's a Monday night. He's going to be training. And he's very well prepared. but I have a feeling come the day of, he's going to be like sick with anxiety. Like, because listen, he can train with our girls all day long, but we don't know what the size is going to be of this leadership training. We have no idea how many people are going to be there. I don't know. So, I mean, certainly it's not going to be even as big as like a regional rally, but I'm thinking it's going to be bigger than our normal group. Um, yes, yes. So, needless to say, he could use some prayers from you guys. uh, your jeweler got sick and her fiance. Yes, yes. So her fiance did her show for her. That is awesome. So yeah, listen, it is such a it's such a tricky thing. It can be a very tricky thing. And the funny thing is, a lot of times people go, well, isn't that weird though for a man to be selling jewelry? Well, I don't know. Why don't you walk into any fine jewelry store and see who the majority of the salespeople are? Um, that's wonderful. That's wonderful. So, when you go into a fine jewelry store, 90% of the salespeople there are men. And again, need I share that? Yeah, I know exactly. And we always joke. Here's the thing: we always joke, and we're like, ladies, when you have an attractive man telling you that something looks good on you, you are either going to buy or you're going to book to get it. And we always kind of joke about it, but he's not my arm candy for the purpose of sales or bookings. It just so happens that it does work. Yes. So, needless to say, it's really just funny. Um, okay, so how does he get his book? Well, he does the same thing. I mean, his um thing does the like his booking activity is the exact same thing as mine. But what he did say was that his bookings were lacking when he was trying to come across more serious. Um, well, and the funny thing is, okay, again, it's funny that you mentioned that because part of the thing that he plans to do um, at the leadership training is to share a little bit about his story. Now, let me tell you, for anyone who might be thinking, well, maybe he's just not as masculine as my man is. Okay, that he feels comfortable going and doing that, and I would tell you that that is totally not the case. David has spent the last 18 years working in the construction industry. He is does he only do shows that he books, or do you have him do some of yours? Great question, Kelly. I'll come back to that. So, needless to say, he's worked in the construction industry for 18 years. Prior to that, he was also in the Marines. Okay, so he is not like a girly foo-foo, you know. um, yes, exactly. And he knows who he is in Christ, and he knows what it means. I mean, he does have a wife, and he does have two teenage daughters. He knows and understands a little bit more about women than what some men might, simply because he's very observant, and that I would say is not necessarily common among men. No, it doesn't have to. It doesn't really have to do with sales. We're this portion of it is discussing the shows that we do in our direct sales business. So, needless to say, long story short, he does very well, and his retail is always great, and that sort of thing. No problem. So it's a good thing. It's a good thing. Now, as far as whether or not he books his own shows or does mine, here's the thing. For the most part, we try to make sure that it's him booking his own shows. But even if he did not actually put it on the calendar, here's what happens. Basically, he will. Awesome, thank you. Basically, what it is that he does is he's at every show with me unless he's off doing his own show. Okay. So when he's at those shows with me, let's say somebody wants the same day and time that I already have a show scheduled, then we will say, okay, well, we have that date and time available for you. However, David would be the one to do that. Now, David's right there. They would have met him. They've already been talking with him and working with him at that show that they are scheduling from. Okay. Now, I never do it where they are anticipating doing the show with me and then I switch it up on them and say, well, I'm going to send David instead. I don't do that. Okay. If they book with me, then the show is held with me. If they go to book and I don't have that day and time available, but David does, then they know they are scheduling with him. And then the other way that he's getting his bookings is at his own shows. Okay. So that's kind of how that goes. Yeah, it truly would be bad for business if they scheduled with me and I said, well, I'm going to send my husband instead because I scheduled something different that day. Like, no, you don't do that. You don't do that. Now, if it's a case of I get sick, thankfully, knock on wood, I've never had that happen where I had to cancel a show because of how I was feeling or anything else. So I've never had that issue happen. Again, however, most of my customers and hostesses, they know David because he goes to every single show with me. So they would have met him already. So if I were to get sick and contact them and say, I'm feeling under the weather, I'm going to send David in my place, they would be more than okay with that because they would have already met him. And the funny thing is, anytime that he isn't at one of my shows because he's off doing one of his own, those ladies are asking for him. They're asking for him going, so where's David? Why didn't he come today? Like they miss him when he's not there. So it's funny. It's funny. Yeah, they do. They do. And I even had one customer tell me that they're like, we just love him. We just love him. He's so kind and he's this. And they're like, and I have to say, there's another reason why I like him. And I'm like, why is that? And she's saying all this right in front of him. She goes, because he calls us sweetheart. Apparently, nobody ever calls her sweetheart any other time. So she comes to the shows so that she can be loved on. So it's hilarious. It truly is. But I have kept you on way too long. So I am going to let you guys go because I'm sure any minute now my daughter's going to come out here going, so what happened to 8:30? You're past 8:30. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and go. But tomorrow we will be back with our Fashion and Faith Friday. Okay, so we will have something that's going to have something to do with fashion, whether it be trends, whether it be jewelry combinations. Not quite sure what it exactly is that I want to do for you yet. But then we are also going to touch on a little bit of faith. We're going to have some prayer requests, some praise reports, and that kind of thing. So I look forward to seeing you guys tomorrow. Have a very blessed day. We'll be back tomorrow, 8 a.m. Eastern Time. Hope to see you guys there. Thanks so much.